I can't tell you how to live your life. This statement contradicts the title of the video, but it's worth saying because my experiences are unique to myself, and I don't really know all that much about you. I'm going to tell you how I am trying to live a good life, and you can handpick the pieces that you like. If you don't like any of the pieces, that's okay. An important aspect of living a good life includes having your basic needs fulfilled. This will vary from person to person, but typically they include access to clean water, food, shelter, etc. Without these, it can be difficult to think about emotional needs and personal reflection. Another aspect of living a good life is happiness. This doesn't mean you have to be happy all the time, but it's good to have consistent positive experiences that maintain your hope for the future. When it comes to moments of sadness, frustration, anger, or any other kind of big feeling, I think you should let yourself feel them. Labeling negative emotions as something you should not experience doesn't really help you process them. You may not feel the need to process such feelings. I get that it can feel easier to ignore unpleasant emotions instead of accepting or trying to work through them. I imagine each time someone represses a negative emotion, they add a stick to a growing beaver dam. Over time, the blockage gets really big, and the river can't pass through the bulk. Maybe the water will become stagnant, allowing bacteria and other nasties to flourish. Eventually, when a twig snaps and fails to block the water, all the still water that was brewing in filth gets to trickle out onto the other side. When you repress various emotions, they're not resolved. They tend to build up, like the dam, and when you're at your limit, the collection of negative feelings will trickle out into your life. Embracing negative emotions doesn't mean living in a constant state of fear, sadness, or anger. Feelings are clouds, they're not permanent. The specific cloud you will see now will not be in that exact spot forever. Accept your emotions as they are and let them float away when it's time. If your negative emotions persist over long periods of time, that may be something to talk about with your doctor, a loved one, etc. I was raised with the idea of doing the work now so my future self can enjoy the benefits. Of course, this comes with balance. Don't overwork yourself so hard that you don't get to see your future, but also don't sit idly and suffer later. Consistent efforts are valuable even if they seem minuscule in the moment. I want to do a good chunk of my emotional work now so that my future self will find adult life easier. How to be happy is another big question that is quite difficult to answer. A major roadblock in the pursuit of happiness for a good amount of people is their lack of self-esteem and self-love. However, arrogance and egocentrism will be equally detrimental to their journey of trying to achieve happiness. My old solution to this was to pretend bad things had never happened to me. Ignorance is bliss, right? Kind of. I don't want to dwell on the bad times, but they did influence me, and they did hurt me. My new solution for building self-esteem and self-love is to flip the negative self-talk. If I can convince myself that I am worthless, unlovable, and useless, can't I convince myself that I am resilient, lovable, and kind? I can pluck out some facts that support my original claim. I accidentally broke a plate, I was unkind to my friend, I forgot to do my homework. I can also pluck out some facts that support my new claim. I got through tough times, I cared for my mother when she was sick, I fetched tissues for an upset peer. If you hone in on a specific mindset, it's hard to get out of it, but you are complex, and there are multiple layers to you whether you are aware of it or not. And there is most definitely a layer where you can recognize the positive aspects of yourself. This kind of technique for building self-esteem and self-love comes from Anna Akana. I'll link her videos in the description. As cheesy as it will sound, love is a crucial aspect of living a good life. This doesn't have to be romantic love, it can be platonic, familial, or an interest that you are passionate about. It's hard to live a good life when you are alone and isolated from others. Some people can make it work, but I can't. I used to think that I could live without close relationships. Now I find it's more of a balance. I enjoy my own company and I build up positive self-talk, essentially not being a douche to myself because there are plenty of people in the world who can do that for me. However, I will also engage in the people around me and those I care about. I don't think most people can live happily without at least a few connections. Humans are social creatures, and something about being in the right company will release the happy yay chemical in your brain. I think the judgment of how good your life was in its totality can only truly be gauged when you are close to death. If you fear your mortality, I have a video on that. I got you. Hopefully this has helped you in some way. Good night.